Okay, so graphing absolute value functions is the fourth main lesson in Unit 1, and you did learn this in both 8th and 9th grade. So today we want to teach you how to graph the function and then recognize the solutions, and then we're going to apply it to some real life problems and try to solve those. But let's take some notes right now where it says notes at the top. A few things you need to, and I'm not going to write them down, but I'll have you write them down with bullet notes. There's going to be three main things you're going to write down. The first is absolute value. You're writing this down in words. Absolute value is measured by the distance from 0. Absolute value is measured by the distance from 0. So, for instance, 3 is a distance of 3 units from 0, as well as negative 3 is a distance from 3 units from 0. Okay? So when we actually go back here to begin solving later on, when we solve absolute value problems, the type of solutions we can have are, we generally will have two solutions. We generally will have two solutions. Because all but one number on the x-axis has two places with the same distance from 0. For instance, 3 is a distance from 3 from 0, and negative 3 is a distance from 3 from 0. Or negative 5 is a distance from 5 from 0, and positive 5 is a distance from 5 from 0. That's why we have two solutions. Sometimes we'll have one solution, and that only occurs when x equals 0. Because that's the only number on the number line that has exactly one answer. How far is 0 from 0? It's a distance of 0. And then other times we will get an answer of no solution. This is the, excuse me, I just need to flip this over here. This is the parent function, so just watching up here, this is the parent function. And this is a piecewise function that describes this. So it starts at 0, it goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1 on both sides. All right. So, by the way, this is good practice. Please turn to your partner, whether you know them or not. You're going to shake their hand. You're going to shake their hand and say good morning. Introduce yourself. So here's our first problem. All right, are you ready? So in this problem, here's our parent function, and we're going to go through this very quickly. With your partner, I want you to describe how do we go from here to here, and how does it relate to up here? You have 5 seconds ready, get set, begin. And the answer is, what's inside the absolute value, it lies to you. So instead of going to the right 2, you go opposite to the left 2. By the way, what number is hanging out in front that you can't see? A 1. Same thing here as a 1. And the reason we can see this on the graph is it means it goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1 on both the left and the right. Okay, please look at the next example. This is not on your paper yet. We're just reviewing. Okay, with your partner, go. How do we go from here to here? 5 seconds, go. I just take this point and I move it. This lies whatever's inside. I move to the right 3. Same thing. It's a 1 over 1. It's a 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1 on both sides. Okay, guided practice number 3. Nothing's on paper right now. Whoever's shorter between you and your partner, I'd like you to explain how do I go from the parent function to this in 10 seconds. Shorter person, go. Just guess who's shorter if you don't know. Go. Back up here, here's how I would describe it. I start with the inside. So this lies. I go to the left 4. This tells the truth. Left 4, up 2. Left 4, up 2. This is my dot that I'm going to make, and then it's 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over, and I always do the right first, followed by the left. Okay, so we are going to move on right now to example number 4. Example number 4. Bless you. Okay, so we did shorter, correct? Yes? Whoever's taller, you have 15 seconds. Explain. Go. We're going to go to the right 5 and down 3 and make a dot. 1 over 1. Then from here, up 1 over and up 1 over, and just like slope to the right. And then you're going to mirror that on the left. All right, this is a little different. You have 3 seconds with your partner. What's significantly different about this problem? There are 4. What is underneath the 4? It's a hidden 1. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start by going to the right 1 and down 7. Right 1 from the origin, down 7. So I've taken care of these portions. Now from here, I always do the right side first. I'm going to go up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. I'm going to continue to do that. I personally like 2 dots after this point. So up 4, 1, right 1, up 4, right 1. And then you're going to mimic it, reflect it on the left-hand side. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you're understanding that. Okay? Shorter person, explain how to do this one. You have 15 seconds, go. So I'm going to go 2 to the left and 4 down. I make a dot. I always go to the right first. I'm going to go up 1, right 5, up 1, right 5, and then reflect that. Up 1, left 5, up 1, left 5. Okay, find out who is older between the two of you. Who is older, who is younger? All right, if you are older, let's assume that your partner is confused, even if that's not the case. Then I'd like you to explain to your partner in 20 seconds how to do this problem as detailed as possible. When I stop you, please look back up here. Begin. I'm going to go to the right 2 and down 5. And then follow the slope as you go to the right. Up 2, right 3, up 2, right 3 consistently. And mirrored on the left. Number 8. If you are younger, number 8, this is tricky. Okay, so first I'm going to give you 10 seconds, and then I think I need to explain this to everybody because I think there will be a few misconceptions. See what you can do, younger person. Go. If you do not see a number inside, what number is it? 0. So I'm not going to go left or right. I'm just going to move up 4 and make my dot. Remember, there's a 2 over 1 here, 2 over 1. From the dot, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, both left and right. All right. Now just think to yourself. Just think to yourself, how do we do this? Just quietly to yourself. On a 1 through 5 scale, 5 being really confident, 1 not being confident, you can do 2, 3, and 4. Raise your hand up high from where I'm seated. I can see. What's your level of understanding so far? Most of us are 3 or above. Okay? We're going to move on to number 10. What's confusing about number 10 is the negative sign. When the negative sign is at the exact same level as the division sign, students often don't know, does it belong to the 5, the 3, do I need to share, does it only have 1? It's only used once, and it always goes with the top number. Okay? Only used once, always goes to the top. So let me explain this one. It lies on the inside, so I'm going to go to the right 2, and I'm going to go up 9 and make a dot. Then, remember, this is really a negative 3. So from this position Think of this as a slope, so we're down 3, right 5, dot, down 3, right 5, dot. I want 2 dots to the right, and then you're going to mirror them to the left. Down 3, left 5, down 3, left 5. We're going to go on to number 11 now. Now, number 11, I chose in the next few problems that you would know the answer. But in your homework or on the quiz, there may be a decimal that is not as recognizable. So even if you know this, please practice this with me. Please type in 0.25. 0.25. Go on the left-hand side and find the word that says math and press it 1 time. Now you're going to see the abbreviation for fraction. Press enter twice. Now it will change the decimal into a fraction. So if you know it by heart, awesome. But if you don't know, this is how you can tell. So I know this is a 1/4. So I'm going to go, okay, it lies. I'm going to go to the left 3. There's nothing behind this, so it stays on the x-axis. And now I'm going to follow the slope to the right, up 1/4, up 1/4, and mimic it on the left-hand side. Last one before we practice here, last one. So let's go over this again. Grab your calculator and forget about the negative. Type in your 0.5. I know you understand that's 1/2, but let's practice. We're going to go math, fractions highlighted, press enter in the bottom right-hand corner twice, and that's how we get the 1/2. Please check with your partner to make sure they understand how to graph it. It is time to practice. So please don't work ahead. Look onto your paper and find independent practice, and it should be this problem. So we're going to do a series of problems, sometimes by yourself, sometimes with your partner, and sometimes I will insert. We're going to start with this one. You have 15 seconds with your partner to practice. If you're wondering why we do the timed thing so often, it's because we're trying to prepare you for those standardized tests like the ACT. So if you don't get done in 15 seconds, there's nothing wrong with that. We're just practicing to try to get quicker. Okay, I'm counting. 15 seconds is your goal. Working with your partner, begin. It lies, move to the left 3 and down 2. Left 3, down 2. Slope is 1/1. Up 1/1, up 1/1. Up 1/1, up 1/1. Please take your IDs to make sure it can be as straight as possible. We're moving on to the next one. Is this your next problem or am I wrong? I'm good? All right. So this next one, if you are the older of the two, you are going to help your partner, even if they understand. You're going to be the one that gives instructions. Your goal is to be done in 30 seconds. Begin. I'm going to move this lies to the right 4 and down 8. Right 4, down 8. And now the slope is going to give us our line. It's positive, so my V is going to open upwards. From here, I'm going to do the right side first. Up 3, right 1. Up 3, right 1. And mimic that on the left-hand side. You can glance up and see if yours matches mine. Okay, the next one you're going to take like a checkpoint quiz. No penalty for not getting done in time or for having incorrect answers. Just try your best. You have 30 seconds. Begin. And I'm going to make it on the other side. believe the mistake most people will make is that your shape still opens upward like a V. Make sure you and your partner have this answer, please. Help your partner or ask for help if needed. Flip to the back side. Okay, this is a practice checkpoint quiz again. Is this the next problem in order? Okay, yes or no? Okay, 30 seconds on your own, begin. So to do this, if you did not know what this converts to, you would type it in, hit math, fraction, enter, enter. And now use the slope of negative 3 over 4. Even if you're not done, can you please raise your hand up and on 1 through 5, your confidence level with what we've covered today so far, 1 through 5. Okay, again, most of this are 3s or above. Now we're going to switch it up. Here's going to be the next part. So you're just watching. This is not on your paper. We're going to be given an actual graph, and our job is to come up with the equation. So it's going to be 3 steps. Here's the first step. I'm going to put a dot, and you don't have this on your paper. This is a guided practice. I'm going to put a dot where the 2 lines meet. And then I'm going to write that down. So this is negative 3, negative 4. You're just watching. So y equals, and inside the absolute value, the x is always what goes inside. And remember, it lies. So instead of writing a negative 3, I write a positive 3. In back would always tell the truth. It goes down. So to the left 3, down 4. Okay, I've got it. Now I need to figure out the slope on always the right-hand side. So I'm looking for good intersection points, and here I'm pretty lucky. Goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. I write 1 over 1. Now, it's not required that you write 1 over 1. If this number is anything other than 1 over 1, you do have to write a number. Let's look right now. I believe the next one is independent practice. Whoop. This is it, correct? Okay, let's start right now. Let's start by putting a dot right here. And then I'm going to write down the ordered pair. So negative 3, positive 3. So it lies on the inside. Your x value, the x coordinate of this point lies. So it's x plus 3, and in the back it tells the truth. So I go to the left 3 and up 3. Now let's figure out what is the slope of the right. Up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. We're lucky again. I'm going to write 1 over 1. Is that required that I write 1 over 1? But anything other than 1 over 1 is required. Check with your partner to make sure they understand, please. Please do number 15 with your partner. Begin. 15 with your partner. And here's our correct answer. We go to the right 3 and up 1, so negative 3, x minus 3 plus 1. And the slope here is a little more confusing for some students. I'm always going to the right to do this. from this point. So I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. I'm looking for good intersection points. And whether you put the negative sign at the middle part or up above, it does not matter. Let's look for example number 16, please. Example number 16. You're going to take this one like a checkpoint quiz. You have 40 seconds on your own. 40 seconds begin. Check your answer with mine when you're done. And let's go on to number 17. Number 17. Let's go 30 seconds instead of 40. Begin. And here's our correct answer. 1 through 5 right now. 1 through 5, your level of understanding. Okay, good. We're going to go on to a real life problem and we're going to solve this. Please read this. One person between the two of you, please read this out loud. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Do me a favor. You're going to follow the steps. Most of you have not used this particular calculator before. Hit the second key, which is blue. We're going to clear the RAM. Then hit the plus C towards the bottom right-hand corner. Okay? Then do 7, 1, 2. I'll do it again so you can see. Second plus 7, 1, 2. If you did it right, it'll say RAM cleared. Okay, now go up and hit it in the top left-hand corner. You can hit the button that says Y equals. Top left-hand corner, please hit Y equals. And we can see this is the formula I'm going to plug in. Please don't jump ahead. Often misconception is, this, we know this is negative 1.4, but students want to use the subtraction sign for the negative. The negative is below the 3. So negative 1.4, start with that, please. And now we need to find absolute value. Please hit the math button on the left-hand side. Math. Now use the arrows across the top here to scroll 1 to the right. And absolute value is represented with number 1. Press enter 1 time. Now type in x. Subtract 2.5. And now we need to get out of the absolute value bracket. So you're going to use this arrow and go outside like this. And our final step is to go plus 3.5. And now this goal is to introduce us to using a calculator to solve this. But more importantly, we want to be able to analyze what the answer looks like. So even if you don't have the same answer that I do, that's okay as long as you're paying attention. How many of you are able to get this on your calculator? Hands up high. If you got this, awesome. If not, flip your calculator over. For most of you, you're not used to using these calculators, right? This is the calculator that you'll use for your remaining time at Trevor Brown. Okay, so this is what we have. I want you to draw a picture with me. Very simple. Here's my XY axis. It goes up like this, and then it goes like this. This represents our tent. Now, it tells us in this problem that the x-axis is the ground, so I'm going to write down ground. And we know that the y represents the height of this, the height of the tent. We want to identify and then interpret the domain and range. So the domain represents the x's from here to here. The domain represents the width of the tent. The domain, you're writing this down. Yes?
Can you hold the paper down?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. The domain represents the width of the tent. You're writing that down. That's part of your answer. The domain represents the width of the tent. I can see on my calculator that it starts at the origin. I need to find out where does it end on the ground. That's the width. If you're not familiar with this, we're going to practice this more. Please pay attention. You can figure out this exact point referred to as a zero by going second, trace, zero. I'm not concerned with you memorizing steps in the calculator right now at all. I'm just concerned with you getting the answers I have and interpreting them correctly. So to find this exact zero or x-intercept, I'm going to go above, left bound, right bound below, and back. So this point right here is 5. So I'm going to put a 5 here, and here's a 0. What does that mean? That means the tent is here. If we put it on this graph, the tent is at 0 and the tent is at 5. So my domain, because it's at 0, I'm going to include 0, and I'm going to include 5. It's from 0 to 5, and it's included those points, and that's why we have brackets. That is the width of the tent. That is the width of the tent. So when you're interpreting the domain, it is the width of the tent in terms of feet. Now, we're next going to do the range. So the range goes from the ground up to this point. So I know it goes from the ground, and we're going to see how high it is. I want to know this maximum point. Second, trace maximum. It's going to have me do something similar to what we just did. We're going to go left to the highest point, right at the highest point, and then to the highest point. So the highest point is, this is the height y, is approximately 3.5. So 3.5. Once again, I'm not concerned, are you memorizing the calculator steps? I'm concerned with, look at the answer and let's make sense of it. This is the width of the tent in feet. This is the height of the tent in feet. Height of the tent in feet, yes. Yep, so sorry.